It's time for a special program called The 11th Hour, featuring Hillis Hughes, Deputy Director of the Washington County Board of Behavioral Health. This weekly program will shed light on important issues in our area and the positive steps we're taking to combat them.
Good morning, Washington County. This is Hillis Hughes with your local radio station, WMOA, and it is now time for the 11th hour, looking at critical issues in our county and being inspired by the work that's being done to make this a better place to live, work, and raise your family. So today, with me on the show, I have Emily Canaday, and she is the AmeriCorps Vista for the Washington County Behavioral Health Board. So I'm Hillis Hughes, and with me today from the Washington County Behavioral Health Board, I have Emily Canaday. Welcome.
Hi.
So how long have you been a Vista for the board?
I started in the end of July, so just a little over a month, so not too long yet.
So are you a resident of Washington County? Did you grow up here? Or?
Yes, I am a lifelong resident of Washington County. I went to Warren High School and then got my bachelor's in psychology at Marietta College.
So what kind of inspired you to do work related to psychology? Where did that interest come from, do you think?
You know, I don't know if there was a specific thing that made me interested in psychology. I just always knew that that's what I wanted to work with and that's what I wanted to study. So I just kind of always knew.
So when you were at Marietta College, was there a particular course that you kind of think you'll always remember or an experience that you think made an impact?
There was a course my junior year I had with Dr. Mary Barnes, and it was called Family Discord. And I thought it was a really cool class. It was a very small class, and the whole semester was just one big conversation. We sat in circles and talked about the material instead of just being lectured. So I like that.
Having that dialogue was important.
Yes.
Yeah. So why did you decide to become an AmeriCorps Vista? Talk to me a little bit about that kind of decision and then the application process.
So I decided to become an AmeriCorps Vista because I really believe in giving back to the community that we live in, and it's great experience for what I think I want to go into. It has great benefits, and overall it just seemed like the best fit for me.
So last year you were an AmeriCorps member, correct?
Yes.
And so where were you serving last year?
Last year I was in admissions at Washington State Community College.
And so what did you gain from that experience that you think will be helpful in your new experience here at the Behavioral Health Board?
I think the experience of kind of knowing what goes on behind the scenes at a community college can be really beneficial, but also just getting to know the demographic of Washington County and what type of residents live here.
Well, and I think one of the things that's impressed me in the work that we do at the Behavioral Health Board is just the number of community partnerships that we have. And certainly we are working a lot within the educational institutions here in the county. So I wouldn't be surprised if your paths cross with people again at Washington State, even in your new role here.
Yeah, they actually already have within my first month.
See?
Yeah, they're all kind of intertwined in the community.
Well, that's good. So I know you're fairly new, but what are some of the projects that you're getting involved in at the Behavioral Health Board?
So right now I'm working on a variety of projects. In the beginning, when I first started in July, I helped edit the yearly resource guide that the Behavioral Health Board will be sending out relatively soon. Mm-hmm. I am also creating a quarterly e-newsletter about the board, so that should be released sometime in October for the fall quarter. I worked on a project, we call it the Recovery Stories Project. So basically, I made a shoebox and a kind of a prompt for people sitting in waiting rooms, whether it be L&P, Hopewell, and they can kind of jot down anonymously their story so it gives the board an idea of what kind of impact we're making.
Well, it sounds like a good variety of things you're working on.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So what has most surprised you in the relatively short time that you've been working here in your role at the Behavioral Health Board?
That is a good question. The thing that surprised me the most is that we don't have a resource center already, but one is coming in probably mid to late November.
Yay!
Yes. Life and Purpose is opening a community resource center, and I think that's very needed in our community. They're still working on the construction, so it's not open yet, but it will be in November.
And that'll be right downtown, which I think will be good too in terms of just giving the people in our community a kind of physical and visible concrete presence to all of the resources that exist in our community to help people. And hopefully we'll even be able to get more volunteers to help share information and really advocate. I think we've realized, as you know, that people don't just want a directory, they want someone to sit down with them and help them make that call, help them figure out what application or what program that they're qualified for. So I think that person-to-person service that the Community Resource Center will often offer will be really important.
Yeah, I think the face-to-face relation with the residents in Washington County will be very beneficial, and the Resource Center is going to be right downtown on Front Street, so it's a good central location that lots of people can access.
So since you've grown up in Washington County and certainly been here for a while, what do you think about in terms of the progress that we're making around things like stigma and just awareness?
I think we're definitely making good progress here in Washington County, but of course there can always be more progress. So kind of related to that, over the summer when I started with the Behavioral Health Board, I teamed up with Building Bridges to Careers to create what we are calling a Washington County Teen Institute. And basically that is a student-led group in all of the county high schools that really strives to eliminate the stigma around mental health. So I think that's very important, and I hope it makes a big impact.
Well, and it sounds like that program, too, will give students the ability to develop leadership skills and maybe even check out the possibility of pursuing a career in behavioral health, which I know is another area that we're really focused on.
Absolutely. A lot of the student leaders that we have already do want to go on and get into psychology or behavioral health work. So I think it's a great group for the students to be involved in.
Well, I know recently you were able to travel a little bit and attend a recovery summit. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, the Recovery Summit was in Zanesville, and I went to that. It was a great experience. Basically, the Recovery Summit is just celebrating recovery of individuals who have struggled with mental illness or substance use disorders. So overall, it was just a great time. People were happy to be there. A lot of